Hey, we're back. It's me, the engineer, Mr. Drinks with Ron Tracy from the Outsider Social Club here for another installment of Radio Mofo minus Todd Springer.
Oh,
Now, the funny thing is he posted the bingo card and he took off the square for Todd's mom. So I'm putting it back on there and we're gonna make it the free space today. So it's a Todd's mom joke free for all today,
oh, all right.
as he won't be listening to this more than likely till Monday when he's in the car and can't do anything about
It's
it.
far too late. Yeah.
So anytime you want to add a Todd's mom joke today, feel free. But yeah, I was talking to we're gonna have homework too for next week. I was just dicking around on. Have you ever seen the best of Craigslist before?
No.
Yes.
And just some of the weirdness that's on there. I'm going to assign everybody to try and find some of their best of Craigslist posts, and we're going to read them. The one I was just reading was about a woman who is trying to hire somebody to fart on her son's turtle, and
Oh.
guaranteed sexual favors if he would actually do it.
Oh, shit. Where do I
You got the
sign?
number?
Yeah.
You know, it's
That's disgusting. How
oddly
do I
enough,
reach this woman?
it wasn't Todd's mom. Anyway,
I mean, does the woman have, big old titties?
I don't know. They don't really allow images on that. It would probably,
Oh.
well, no, they do for some. The one with the guy, there was a guy that wanted to fill up a bathtub full of ramen noodles, and then he was going to pay somebody just to come over and sit naked in it, not do anything sexual.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what he was going to do after he ate the ramen noodles or right
Right.
after she sat in the ramen noodles.
I
Uh,
think you got a pretty good idea what he was doing with them. It's going on OnlyFans.
yeah. I don't got
There's,
to speculate too hard.
that would probably go well on your site, Mr. Engineer. Dumpsters only or only dumpsters?
Only dumpsters.
Yeah, we got to make a shirt for that. We've got the Gorgital now has a shirt on the Mofo store.
Nice.
There's a Hot Toddy's Merkin Emporium. I feel like that's going to be a hot seller. And since the locksmith can't join us today, we got to plug his, which was after he confessed to actually upper decking his own grandmother last week.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm not sure if I
man.
lost or gained respect for him after that conversation.
I need more context. What did Grandma do to have this coming? I mean, I feel like you don't just do this all willy nilly. This had to be recourse for something.
Yeah, you don't generally upper deck someone for no reason.
Yeah, especially, like a close relative.
Yeah.
He said they didn't get along, and he did that just before he left for like the last time, and she
Oh,
didn't
okay.
find it for about 3 weeks.
Okay, then I'm all on board with this.
Yeah.
That's good.
That seems odd though, too, in that how do you not notice he must have really taken a like solid meaty poop for it to not even register.
I'm thinking out of a way bathroom in grandma's house that she hardly ever used.
Either that or grandma was still sworn to using the outhouse outside. Maybe
It
she
just
was
always smelled like shit in there and you couldn't tell the difference. I
good.
don't know
Yeah.
how you wouldn't have an aging turd not draw attention. I mean,
Maybe,
man.
yeah, like I'm thinking, it was just a real solid, like the kind of poop you'd have after you've had just a steak and nothing else.
Brisket, just 2 pounds of brisket.
Those
Oh shit, you
days,
take a leak and forget to flush and come in a day later and it's like, whoa, what the shit's going on? And you're like, a poop? Like, I think I
yeah,
would catch that on the next floor.
yeah, I've had the cloudy meat pee before, where there's so much protein in there that your kidneys can't even filter it all out.
Right. Fortified vitamin smell, just yellow nuclear. Like, ooh, I'm gonna have to go in about this one.
Oh God. Oh, we're really starting this one off with a bang.
Hey, I told you I'll get rid of some of those followers for you.
We got about 4 people watching us on the TikToks right now. But I was talking to somebody about we were just joking about if we were to actually get married, where we would actually do it. And at the
Mm.
time, I had found a picture of a Gravitron that was for sale.
Wow.
Yeah, how awesome. But she said, we can't really do a ceremony on that because my boobs will just be mashed up against my face the entire time.
I'm okay with that.
So I'm
That's
like,
Yeah,
I will officiate this. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm an ordained
yeah.
minister. I've done a wedding dressed as a Jedi, so I can do one on a Gravitron.
I would
that
say I'm ordained, but I've never done a Jedi wedding, so you win on this one, Ron.
that
Yeah.
was actually one of the things that I pulled Reddit too to find some stories for weddings. I mean, I've got tons of them. Engineer, you have one about falling down a flight of stairs.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, go ahead, take it.
So, story time with engineer.
All
So
right.
basically, what happened was we were at a wedding up in Appleton. It was a coworker, and we were just like, oh, fucking around. And I bet my wife that I could make it down the stairs faster than she could. And well, I won, but it's because I tripped on the first step and basically rolled past her all the way. And he like got up, and at that point, alcohol was flowing so well that I didn't really feel the pain.
Mm.
Um, and then she's like, "You're gonna hurt like hell tomorrow." I'm like, "Yep." And she's like, "You remember we're moving tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yep." And
Oh,
basically,
man.
like, loaded myself with drugs to get to the next day. But yeah, basically fell down. It was probably 10 to 13 stairs.
Ooh.
And you
Falling Down is a movie that should pretty much been made about me.
and you personally have made the decision to get hitched not once but twice.
Twice.
Yeah,
Yes.
what didn't you learn? I mean,
Well, I had a boss tell me the first time that you know why divorces are so expensive? Because they're fucking worth it.
Yeah, yeah. Ron, you're in the single wedding club. I'm not sure about the locksmith. Does he have a trial wedding? Trial
As far
marriage?
as I know, he's up. He's only one.
hmm.
Okay. Well, good for him. Ron, what made you decide to tie the knot other than just
Insurance? Yeah, mostly insurance. That's really actually what we did. We decided to do an April Fool's thing because we'd already been together like 10 years and had a fucking kid. So it's really a formality at that point.
tax
Um,
purposes?
so we decided April Fool's Day, let's post that we're engaged. But we're like, can't do it on April 1st. Everybody will know. So like 11 o'clock on the 31st, we posted it. And,
Nice.
it was everybody go, is this a joke? Is this a joke? Well, grandmas got informed. And then once grandmas were told, it was like, oh, fuck, they think this. Well, we might as well just, this will streamline some paperwork. Let's just have a party, huh?
Yeah, once grandma gets involved, shit gets real.
Yeah, both the two living grandmas were instantly informed and thought it was legit. So like,
See, I've
Guess it's going to be legit now.
I've
yeah,
waited long enough that they're all gone, even though the thing I used to get harassed about wasn't necessarily even getting married. It was
the
carrying
kids.
on the family name
Yeah,
because there's maybe half a dozen of us left, and I'm fine with that. But Grandpa was very concerned with me carrying on our Lithuanian ancestry. Not the Russian half, more or less the
yeah,
Lithuanian half.
right.
Yeah, you choose the side you want.
Well, he used to say like that the smart people that were from Lithuania left and the other ones stayed there and drank themselves to death. And I almost drank myself to death here, so I'm not really sure what side I fall on.
Right.
But
Make up your damn mind. Yeah.
so you didn't have to worry about them pushing you to have kids because you already had that taken care of.
Right. Yeah, like I said, mostly it was the streamlining the insurance and the paperwork. Like you realize what a bastard it is to try to fill things out, and yeah, it was just you know what, everything's going to be 100% easier. Just get
Yep.
ink and paper in this.
I went to one actually in your neck of the woods. I think I mentioned it recently, where it was in a horse barn. And we're not talking about like fancy barn weddings that they do now that you see on social media. This was a freaking horse barn with a concrete floor, and the bar was a beer trailer with the taps on the side.
Oh hell yeah!
And they killed off we had to cut the reception short because it was getting late and it was cold out and the horses needed to come inside. Lancaster, like at the fairgrounds, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was when
Huh.
my assistant, some guy I actually didn't know, I got volunteered to bring him along. Friend of the girlfriend's was going to help me, and he got drunk and passed out in the van and didn't
Mm.
carry anything like I had hoped he was going to. So it didn't go as well as I would
Wow.
have thought.
You
Oh, that
both
was one.
DJ'd a wedding at the fairgrounds? That's a win.
Yeah, it was a real classy joint. Actually, everybody was cool. It's the least formal weddings that are the ones that are fun.
Right. At least I think when I DJ'd there, it wasn't in the horse barn. They had, constructed a building that was a little more proper for weddings.
Now, from the comments here that we got, I learned that Mormon weddings are a thing. First of all, I thought there was a spaceship that just came down and took care of everything. But this person said I went to a Mormon wedding in Las Vegas, of all
Whoa.
places, which that
Counterintuitive.
yeah, I'm not sure this one's totally honest, but it said all the non-Mormon members of the family and the bridal and groomsmen had to sit outside while the ceremony was happening. The reception was cake and punch, and it was a dry wedding. It sucked.
Hmm.
Yep. I've been to a Southern Baptist wedding that was a dry wedding, and no one has weddings like Southern Baptist. I have determined that fully because we get there and you're sitting there, and basically you find out the entire Southern Baptist wedding is basically um, a thing to get the woman to submit to the guy. Basically, like telling him, like, yeah, like he's now in charge. You will listen to him. You will do everything he says. Your role in the marriage is to literally support him in whatever he decides.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was interesting, but it gets better because, there's just times I'm just not good at holding my tongue, keeping things in. So we come out of the wedding, and this was with my first wife and her parents and their piece of shit van. And we come out, and there's a flat tire. And like her dad is a farmer, but he definitely is not one who understands how mechanical things work, which puts him in a really not great farmer. But so the tire's flat, so I'm like trying to talk her through how to do the um, changing the tire because she wanted to be in charge and take care of it. I'm like, fine. So her dad's giving her one piece of advice, I'm giving her another, and she just kind of gets pissed off. The point, she's like, well, which one am I supposed to listen to? I'm like, you heard the preacher, you listen to me.
Hell
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
we didn't talk much the rest of the night.
I had to give up a donkey to marry you. I think I'm in charge now.
All right. Have you guys ever given a toast before? Because it seems
Yeah.
a lot of these stories go along with the toast. This one says the man of honor speech was one of my boyfriend's coworkers. It was super cringy. Basically, all he said was that the bride used to be such a drunken slut and that the groom was a saint was for putting up with her.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow. And then
so
there's another one here. The groom's voice cracked when he said, "I will never cheat on you." And I laughed and snorted so loud that I had to remove myself.
the
what a
last best
vow.
man speech that I gave, I had over 25 Shrek references into it
Nice.
What?
because well, it worked out well because they met basically at a production, a local community theater of Shrek
Ah,
is how they met, and he
nice.
played Shrek, and then his wife was basically behind the scenes. So like I was using like princess terms. I ended up calling Veroko the swamp they settled in.
Oh God. Well, that
Uh,
checks out.
yeah, as
Oh
long as
yeah,
you didn't call
it,
her a donkey.
no, no,
All right.
no. I ended up calling myself the donkey in the relationship.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, when I did that Star Wars wedding, I did the same thing. I worked in like 8 or 10 quotes into the vows, and ended with "Man and wife, I pronounce you. Married you are. Hmm.
My thought for a Star Wars wedding that would be funny would be is he if he was dressed up like a stormtrooper but couldn't figure out like the direction to put the ring on and just kept on missing every
Just keeps
time.
trying to do the wrong person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, here.
shove it into her face.
And a different bridesmaids just start falling over.
Yeah. This is
Uh,
not the bride you are looking for.
Next story here says my roommate in my 20s got knocked up by a minor she worked with at Chick-fil-A. You don't expect that to happen at Chick-fil-A. They used to have sex in the walk-in freezer. He was 17, she was 23. She was a total bridezilla. Asked our friend group to be in the wedding, kicked several of us out. Um, Despite the fact that they were having underage sex, it was still a dry wedding. They now have two kids that were total fucking weirdos, but I'll give them credit because they're still married to this day.
You
That's a,
get credit for just staying together. That's
it's a
that's
happy,
inertia.
happy ending.
I
Uh,
don't know. The when you first said that, you said minor. I pictured the guy with the helmet and the little light, and I'm like, ooh, this is. Oh no, the other kind.
Yeah,
This
they're
isn't
not the
gonna
good
be.
kind.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be nearly as fun as I thought.
that's how he was preparing for the consummation of the. Well, I guess they already took care of that in the cooler, so never
After
mind.
swinging a
Yeah.
pickaxe all day.
Well, at least
Uh,
they had the day off the next day, assuming they got married on Saturday because they're closed on Sunday. That was nice of them.
I think that's our first cooler sex story that we've managed to get on the podcast.
Well done.
All right, next one. My cousin got married. It was all pretty normal until right after they were pronounced man and wife. They turned and waved to the assembled. The preacher said he understood there was to be a second marriage that day. My cousin and his new wife moved to the side. The bride's sister and her boyfriend came up, and apparently she had just found out she was pregnant, so they wanted to get married ASAP. So we watched them get married. I believe jokingly, the preacher asked if anybody else wanted to get hitched. Then my cousin's new in laws got up and renewed their vows. She was pregnant as well. The priest did not ask that again, and we were all allowed to leave.
Uh,
Wow, that must have been a really fertile area of the country for that one to go on.
Yeah, it's like this feels like this was Tennessee.
yeah, say if you just throw it at the end. Anybody else want to get married? You get as long as I'm doing it. I warmed up my marrying arm. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I
Hate to
do-
two
waste
for
it.
one.
I DJ'd a couple of shotgun weddings, and they were just always awful. Like there was one in particular I remember where the bride and groom's family didn't even sit on the same side of the room. Like they
Ooh.
wanted nothing to do with each other. And there's shotgun wedding, and there's this kid could drop during the wedding, shotgun wedding, and that's how
Oh,
pregnant she was. Like there was no, and that one I remember too because she was still smoking while she
Ah.
was, yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I guess she at least probably had a light baby.
So I did learn that there are actually Amish shotgun weddings.
What?
Yeah, probably literal shotgun too. I bet.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, but basically, like it's the wedding part, which still takes like 8 hours, but then there's no party afterwards.
They fucking raised the barn before the wedding. Like, Jesus, how many hours?
You know,
Well, when you got to cover half the Bible during it, there's a lot in there.
okay. Next one. At the reception, the bride came out wearing a white bikini, laughing and giggling while her entire family looked on in horror.
Wow.
Wow. I mean,
It's a hell of a reception.
yeah. All right. Next one. My cousin's brand new mother in law was drunk as hell at a dry wedding and went on all about the wedding night and about how her son had a nickname for her breasts as well as his penis and would probably give his new wife's breasts nicknames too. Oh, thanks, Mom.
Oh, that's yeah.
uh,
There's some Freudianism in there.
I don't
Definitely.
have a sounder for that. I don't even know what the fuck I'd hit.
We might need to come up with one that just is like titty nickname.
I could probably do one on the fly. Yeah.
It's like I was thinking.
now a
half-ass podcast exclusive.
Titty nickname.
Corner. Yeehaw!
Got it.
Do you, just out of curiosity, do you guys have nicknames for any of your partner's parts?
Nope.
No,
As long as I
man.
get to see them, I don't really care if they have a name.
Yeah, we got to schedule appointments. Like, is Don available on Tuesday? Or...
I had an ex that found she enjoyed Shame Cave and Squish Mitten. She thought Squish Mitten sounded cute until she thought about it a little bit.
Yeah, it sort of does a little bit
Yeah.
like a Pokemon.
Squish Mitten. Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
gotta catch them all.
Yeah, I caught that one. All right.
I went to an interracial gay vegan a non-alcoholic wedding, non-fond memories. This person just said, I'm not sure why interracial made the list.
Right?
Somebody got called out there. Um, this one says, after a series of normal vows and responses, the officiant gets to one that boils down to not cheating, and the groom says, I'll try. One of the reception speeches start with, I don't believe in the institution of marriage. Well, that goes
Yeah.
well.
Right.
The bride and groom sword dueled over the cake before cutting it. The
Okay.
bride and groom's first dance was was to a song from the RoboCop soundtrack, and the Imperial March was the processional.
Okay, I can get with that one.
Well,
Oh, definitely.
I did one where is that processional when they walk down the aisle after they're done?
No, that's recessional. Recessional's when
yeah.
they come in.
I did one where the bride and groom asked me to play Another One Bites the Dust as they were walking down the aisle, but they didn't tell anybody. And it made me look like the biggest jackass on earth. Like they kind of started just walking down the aisle, and I played that, and the entire family turned around and looked at me like I was just the biggest douchebag ever. Let's see here. I was at a wedding where about a third of the guests did not show up after responding yes. All
Oh,
the tables were half empty. The groom finally set up a portable TV outside, and we watched a baseball game and got shit faced drunk.
wow.
I did another country kind of wedding where I don't know what exactly happened, but they were expecting about 200 guests, and maybe 20 showed up. And I get there and I'm setting up and there's no one there. I have no clue what's going on. And the bride kind of walks up to me going, I don't know if we're gonna do this. We're gonna pay you either way. Do you want to take some food home?
Yes, I do. You have little containers to go, because I will start loading up right now.
Yeah, I was eating chicken and whatever the beef thing was for several days.
Fuck, I'll start the car right now. You just give me the word.
That was actually a woman that worked at the company store, and I don't really know what she did, but she managed to piss off a lot of people pre-wedding. Um, we did a wedding, or I was at a wedding at my grandparents' house. The groom exposed himself to the bride's grandmother.
No.
Wow.
Okay. I said, with these grandma stories, there's got to be more back there.
Yeah.
I think
I
there's
mean, some of these
backstory
grandmas are
missing.
some real gilfs.
Right. I mean, maybe they've got a ongoing thing with Wang. I don't know.
Have
Or
we
he's just hammered.
have we hit the age where we're almost past like the cougar fantasy and we've got to go for the gilfs?
Getting there. Getting there, yeah.
Cougar
Like I
is
said,
No,
as
I'm
long
still
as you set your
cougar.
goals, yeah.
Wait a minute, engineer, how old are you?
41.
Well, okay. I'm 46, so the grandmother thing is coming. I
Well,
feel
yeah,
like.
because I mean, there was grandmas my age, so it's like, it's
Yeah,
not like back in the day, grandma meant you were 75. Like, nah, you can be 42 now.
I've got
Most
friends that
deserving.
have, they've got kids graduating college now, so I'm sure it's
Right.
happened to at least one person I know. Um, ugh, this one plays to something that just grosses me out. Went to a really religious wedding in North Carolina where the bride and groom washed each other's feet in front of the
Mm.
entire wedding party.
That sounds Southern Baptist as hell.
Ugh. It's bad, and like the thought of whenever they talk about the Pope washing people's feet on holidays or whatever the specific day is that they do that. I'm not Catholic enough to remember. Um, ugh, I just can you imagine just a line of just gross ass feet? At what point does the Pope tap out?
Right? Like this is what I
Well, I
signed on
mean,
for.
yeah. Knowing that I was going to be doing it, I would save up those feet to make it so he would tap out. Don't cut the nails. Like,
Yeah.
did you walk through shit to get here?
Yeah.
Twice.
You know what Jesus went through? All you gotta do is wash feet, pal. We're gonna make this count.
These are modern feet. Those were, just after, the birth of Christ feet.
Yeah. Walking
At,
through the
at
desert and shit and sandals. I mean, that's gotta
yeah,
be
at
Yeah.
best they had sandals for protection.
At least there was airflow through the sandals.
Ugh. Yeah, just I wonder if the Pope just does one and then his cardinals and bishops take over and like
right.
you son of a bitch. And
Yeah, it's like the opening at Kmart. He's just chopping the big bow and then he taps out and calls in the backup pope. Go to the lefty.
I don't think anyone's opening any Kmart's anytime soon around.
Ah, that's true.
there's a lot of these stories that involve a person from Reddit going to a wedding with a whole bunch of Trumpers, and I can't see that going well at
No.
all.
That dynamic's
Um,
changed.
This one says, my brother had a medieval wedding. I could
Hmm.
get down with that. I shit you not, he was wearing a ridiculous getup with green tights and some sort of cape and a stupid hat. The bride looked like she was Princess Lucky in the Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail bit. Full Latin Mass in a sweltering church in the middle of the summer.
Ugh.
Ugh. Latin masses, just Catholic masses, if you've ever had to sit through a Catholic wedding before, is pretty awful.
Catholic
So,
anything.
hey,
Fucking
now
torture.
I got married. The last wedding was a Catholic wedding, but I refused to convert. So
Hmm.
that instantly took out half of the time because, like, oh, we can't do a communion. Damn. Oh, we can't do a rosary.
Oh.
Damn.
Just because they were afraid that the holy water would boil if it touched you.
No,
Hey,
you're
I
not
have walked into a
qualified.
church as that got struck with lightning as I walked in. And like, yep, this is fair.
I can't believe they let you do it. Normally, there's like a whole big thing. It's, oh, you're not one of us. You can't do it here. But I guess maybe loosening the rules, we're starting to lose that membership.
But basically came down to them looking at it and saying, hey, would you actually not get married in a church if we don't allow you? I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And they're like, okay, we'd rather see you get married in a church.
Hmm.
I guess they want
Yeah.
they want the business.
Right? Those are religious
Yeah.
people. That's my cousin's wedding. They got married in like a park. So the priest was supposed to come down. Grandma's super religious. Priest didn't fucking show up. So she came storming over to me and said, he ain't here in 10 minutes. You're marrying us. Grandma heard that right in the fucking car. Uptown, she went and dragged him down there like, no, we're getting a priest. This is
We already know Ron's gonna be too high to mumble his way through this one.
It was about blew my hand off with a M80 that day. Yeah, it's a good time.
I feel like more weddings should have explosions.
M80s and cocaine, yeah, what a fucking time to be alive.
I agree. This is definitely the way to do a wedding.
I have so many from the ones that I've done. I mean, like the one that was the most awkward might have been after the reception was done. I'm packing up my gear, I'm leaving, and I'm a little paranoid about this because I don't know if this guy listens to the podcast or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put my stuff in the car and everything, and I look in the car next to me, and there he is in his car getting a hand job from somebody that is not the bride.
Oh.
And I knew the bride pretty well, and had to keep my mouth shut until they were divorced, which didn't take long.
Yeah, that
That
sounds
doesn't
sounds
surprise me.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, clock was already running.
It
No, the
was some,
best one I actually thought of was a buddy of mine. It's his best friend's wedding. They're best friends since they're like 8. He got shit can hammered even before the wedding. I guess they showed up at the reception. He came in, took one of the things of champagne, cranked it, took another one, launched it into the air, hit the ceiling fan. He said the ceiling fan started smoking. He walked up, cranked the his buddy's mom on the ass so hard he about took her out. Stumbled, about fell. They had to take him out. He went out in the parking lot, threw up, and shit his pants before the sun was down.
that's when the stuff from the meme where the Linkin Park music plays and then it says directed by Michael Bay.
Oh,
The
shit.
best part, he told me this whole thing. So he's like, oh, and then I shit my pants in the parking lot. The mother-in-law had to drive me home.
I mean, mine where I did the grand march thing and the bride and groom are holding hands and the groom puked all over the bride, all over
Oh,
down the front of her white dress and everything. I'm there standing there with the microphone and I just literally I said, "All right, everybody, thanks for coming out. Have a great night. Drive safe. I'll see you around."
Yep.
I'm
that's my
done.
time.
Was somewhere down in your area too, Ron, where I did one where all like after the dinner, all of a sudden everybody just disappeared. And they all, I found out I'm standing around waiting. I thought they were taking pictures outside or something. And it was in like a Legion Hall or some like Casey Hall, whatever. And I found out from the bartender that was there that they had all gone to a strip club. They'd all taken one of those little buses to the strip club, got hammered,
Wow.
and came. And actually, the party afterwards was a great time. But it seems like you're supposed to do the strip club before.
Right. It's a bachelor party deal. Not like, well, I'm married. Let's go see some titties.
But I mean, it was. I guess the bride and the women went too. I mean,
That's fun. That's
everybody
it could
knows.
be one of those deals. Is their idea.
Ever gone to a strip club with a woman before?
Oh yeah,
Mine
yeah.
ex used to be really obsessed with the shoes.
It is amazing. It's impressive that they can even walk, but dance. Holy shit! Those platforms, like, oh, my ankle hurts just thinking about it.
Would your wife go to a strip club with you, Mr. Engineer?
She probably would.
I was kind of waiting for you to say we're going to one right now.
No, no, she's playing Zelda.
Oh, well, would she ever actually do the podcast since we're getting close to the end here?
Possibly. I can ask her and see if she'd want to join sometime.
Ron, I don't know about your wife. Would she be interested?
No, I'm sure I could never get her to do it.
Does she want anything to do with your podcast shenanigans?
Well, I called her bluff because I was going to send the link to Trivia Night to my kid, but I sent it in the family chat. And she's like, oh, trivia? I was like, oh, not you. You're not invited. So she's like, oh, I want to do it. So finally I sent her the link. I'm like, all right, yeah, we start at 8. She's like, I'm not doing it. Like, yeah, oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Just want to make sure I was actually inviting you.
You know, she would have to get through the first 20 minutes or so of us just trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And how long did it go last time before somebody came in and said, hey, guys, are we recording?
Yeah, we got about 40 minutes in. But in
That's,
3+ years, that's the first time it's happened. So that's man.
who was high and at the switch at that time that should have been recording?
Well, Troy usually sets it to automatically record, but we were supposed to have a pregame meeting this time, so he didn't do it. But when I came into the Zoom, I noticed it wasn't recording. So I was totally aware. And I was like, oh, I'll just tell him when we get closer to starting. And then I got high and
Oh, God.
forgot. Yeah.
Happens to the best of us,
But
Rob.
then I got high.
Yeah. The episode's good, though. The Prescription DJ episode of the Outsider Social Club will be dropping shortly on the Half-Ass Podcast Network. So stay tuned. Marches for brackets.
Find that on all your podcast locations. We got about a minute.
Podcasts are available.
We got about a minute 40 yet. Let's spend it talking shit about Todd, because why not?
Yeah, we did not. We didn't get in on Todd's mom too much this episode. We got time.
That's true. We didn't.
We go
So-
rapid fire.
How upset do you
I
think
actually-
he would be if I looked her up and called her during one of these?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. What were you going to say, engineer? We got a minute left.
I was gonna say if we're gonna finish with a good thing going on with weddings and everything. My first wedding was a doozy because by the time we even got to the reception, there had already been a screaming match between me and my wife. So, yeah, it was destined to go well and all that. But basically, yeah, my mom's entire side of the family wasn't invited to the second wedding because of how they behaved at the first wedding.
Jesus. Have we learned anything today?
Fuck no.
Do we ever? Yeah.
All right. Fantastic episode, gentlemen. We will continue once again next week with another episode of Radio Mofo and possibly Todd's mom.